Aliens, a classic sci-fi horror franchise that I grew to love when I was a kid. It's been through a lot to say the least, with so many terrible sequels, miss after miss after miss after miss. But I was very pleasantly surprised watching this film. I came in with very low expectation after the terrible sequels that came out through the years. I have to admit, it was really great to come back to this franchise. I kind of missed it over the years with the countless terrible sequels that have been coming out. And I gotta say, it was definitely worth it. I had very low expectations for this movie, but it was a really fun watch. This truly felt like an Aliens movie again, with the set design, the music, the atmosphere. They had a budget of $80 million, and what they were able to achieve is honestly incredible compared to what other movies nowadays with like over 100 million budgets and they still look like shit. But this looked fantastic, even with the practical effects that they used, and the CGI was also really good. Not to mention the star of the movie, the xenomorph, one of my all-time favorite alien species in fiction. The sheer terror that they bring on screen and amazing design. And I know I mentioned it already, but the set and the way that they use retro technology, that's something that I always loved about this franchise. It's just so much fun seeing it again on the big screen after so many years. But as much as I want to scream to the mountaintops saying how great this movie is, it does have its flaws, but nothing too awful compared to the other stinkers that were released over the years. For example, the characters. Most of them are pretty forgettable. I just watched the movie yesterday and I already forgot most of them. There's only a handful, a literal handful that I actually liked. For example, the android, the synthetic, Andy, in my opinion, was the best character. And I really loved the acting. It was very well done. The main character, Rain, was also pretty good, but she was kind of meh, kind of bland. But and the rest of the crew, I don't even remember their names. Honest to God, they were hella bland, cardboard cutouts that you didn't really care about. Just xenomorph food, but it was still entertaining nonetheless. There are also the references. There have been a bunch of references in this movie, including even using some of the sets. But I thought most of them were more homages, but there were some that I didn't really like that much, and some of them were kind of implemented into the plot. One of the things that I definitely didn't like that much about the movie had to be how much they try to force all the lore from the older movies. They kind of made this an entire cocktail of all the older movies, and it didn't really work that much for me. I guess they're trying to completely reboot it, which is not a bad idea, but I think they kind of fit way too much into this movie. I guess they wanted to do it so it would ensure that they would get a sequel, but who knows? We'll find out. There were also some really good sequences in the movie, especially you see it in the trailer where you see acid floating around in anti-gravity. I thought that sequence was really cool and never seen before. So overall, I would say it was a pleasant watch. I had low expectations, and they surprisingly made a very well put together movie. Simple plot, characters not that memorable, but good enough, and great CGI and sequences throughout the entire movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10. If this does get a sequel, I hope it does because I really want to see this universe again in the big screen. I'm really looking forward to what they will do in the future. I strongly recommend this movie if you're a horror lover, even if you are not familiar with the Alien franchise, you honestly don't have to be. It's just a very suspenseful, terrifying watch. I strongly recommend it.